Industrial development agencies, 15 alone in Western New York, are in the business of handing out tax breaks to companies. Those subsidies mean less money to local and state governments to pay for public services. No one loses out more than school districts. Most rely on property taxes and state aid for the bulk of their operating revenue, and most of the tax breaks given to companies come in the form of deeply discounted property taxes. The result? Some school districts are out millions of dollars each year. In Western New York, there are 3 districts where the foregone revenue amounts to $2,000 less to spend per student. The Dunkirk City School District is hardest hit. The tax breaks issued by the Chautauqua County IDA, mostly to the NRG power plant, have cost the system some $5 million annually in recent years. That's left parents to scramble to pay for their children's extracurricular activities.
For example, like as a parent, for every single thing the kids do, there has to be a fundraiser. So there's just constant fundraising on the shoulders of students and families.
Yeah.
And it's, just exhausting. So obviously, as an economically depressed area, Dunkirk in particular, putting so much of it on the shoulders of the families is really difficult. So to know that tax credits additionally are pulling even more money out of the district is disappointing.
Yeah.
That's a soft word.
In Wyoming County, the Warsaw and Letchworth districts lose out on even more per student each year. The operators of wind farms have received the lion's share of tax breaks granted by the Wyoming County IDA. A 4th local district is also hit hard, the Niagara-Wheatfield Central School District in Niagara County. Property tax breaks granted by the Niagara County IDA reduces spending by nearly $1,000 per student.
So our budget for next school year is a little over $80 million. And so $2 million would obviously be a significant impact for our students. As you probably know, we don't have a seat at the table in determining what those contracts look like.
Districts in Western New York aren't the only ones losing out. A study by a national subsidy watchdog group found that 22 school systems across the state are out at least $2,000 per student annually. The total losses to school districts across New York from IDAs and other subsidy programs was $1.8 billion in 2021. IDA officials see things differently, arguing their tax breaks retain and create jobs. A spokesman for a trade organization that represents economic development officials contended that tax breaks don't hurt schools. To suggest school districts are losing revenue because of IDA assistance is misleading, as it assumes all the projects in question would occur if support and incentives from the IDA were not available. This is categorically untrue. At least 2 national studies reached a different conclusion. They found that anywhere from 75 to 90% of jobs created by tax incentives would have been created anyway.
So the majority of deals are windfalls. The system as it has evolved allows companies to get paid to do what they would have done anyway.
The state legislature is considering a bill sponsored by Senator Sean Ryan of Buffalo that would prohibit IDAs from granting tax breaks that come at the expense of schools.
And the people on the short end of the stick have been school kids. Having diminished school programming because the big buildings and the big real estate ventures and companies are not paying into the tax burden.
Passage of the bill is uncertain, and the legislative session wraps up June 8th. Reporting for Investigative Post, I'm J. Dale Shoemaker.